Hi everyone. Welcome to the 2016-17 Masterworks season of the Richmond Symphony. We're very excited about this opening concert, welcoming one of the great superstars of the music world, Itzhak Perlman. If ever there was somebody who epitomized the word virtuoso violinist, Mr. Perlman would be him. He has had an extraordinary career, exploring all kinds of different repertoire, performing on virtually every stage throughout the entire world. In addition to his work as a violinist, he's been an extraordinary spokesman for education. He's always been involved in teaching and spreading music to people of all ages throughout the world, and his embrace of humanitarian causes, particularly around issues of disability. More personally, I recall when I was in music school at the Eastman School of Music as a violin major, my violin friends and I would sit around and listen to recordings of Perlman, and in particular the Brahms concerto that he recorded with the Chicago Symphony. I think we wore out at least 2 copies, maybe 3, of that old LP. So it really is a thrill for me personally to collaborate with such a great artist. The Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, which is the work that Mr. Perlman will be playing, is one of the gems of the violin repertoire. It combines a kind of classical elegance with the virtuoso brilliance of a concerto. It was a piece that Mendelssohn wrote in collaboration with the concertmaster of his orchestra, the Leipzig Gewandhaus, Ferdinand David. And so Mendelssohn worked very, very closely with the man who premiered the piece. And as such, it has that stamp of a violinist from the very first entrance, which comes only about a measure and a half into the piece. And it becomes a wonderful display of violin, not just technique, but also the melodious, beautiful nature of Mendelssohn's melodic writing. The rest of the program contains 3 works which are virtuoso in their own right for the orchestra. Strauss's Don Juan is one of those pieces that celebrates the expansive nature of the entire range of the instruments of the orchestra. And in fact, it's one of those pieces that orchestra musicians have to audition with when they are auditioning for jobs with orchestras. The excerpts, as we call them, from Don Juan are some of the most difficult and most notorious for almost every single instrument in the orchestra. So it's fun for us to be able to put those excerpts together and play the full piece of music. Another great showpiece which finishes the concert is George Enesco's Rumanian Rhapsody No. 1 in A minor. This features numerous different solo instruments in the orchestra, particularly clarinet, the oboe, but it also is a very fast dance as it sweeps to its exciting conclusion. And the third orchestral piece is Leonard Bernstein's Symphonic Dances from West Side Story. This might be one of the great American masterworks, both as a concept of uniting the threads from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, transferred into the streets of New York and the street gangs of the 50s, but also embracing it in an orchestral sound, almost quasi-operatic, but yet still very connected to the Broadway stage. It really is American in that sense that it pulls together these many different kinds of influences. It's interesting, all 3 of these orchestral works, plus the very virtuosic Mendelssohn Violin Concerto that Mr. Perlman is playing, were all the products of very young men. Strauss wrote his Don Juan when he was only 24, and it instantly made him world famous in this new idea of writing a tone poem that helped tell a story. Bernstein, when writing West Side Story, was about 38 or 39. Mendelssohn, when he wrote his violin concerto, was 35. And most remarkable, maybe, is Enesco. He wrote this Rumanian Rhapsody when he was only 19 years old. So we have a celebration on this concert, not only of the virtuosity of our soloist, of the orchestra, but also a celebration of the joy of youth and the inspiration that these young composers have brought to the world of orchestral music. It's very thrilling to begin a season with such a stupendous program and such a wonderful soloist. We've got a whole season of fantastic programs and other great soloists, so we hope you'll join us throughout the year for all of our wonderful concerts.